A letter has landed from a solar developer asking about your land. Two things to know before you reply. First, they don't send those at random. Before that letter was posted, someone checked your fields against the grid. The letter itself is evidence your land may have real value. Second, the offer inside was written by the other side. Over the life of a solar lease, the difference between a well-negotiated agreement and a badly negotiated one is upwards of £100,000. This video is the order of operations. What to check before you reply. For free. The option agreement. The document that decides whether this letter is a treasure or a trap. The clauses that cost six figures when they're wrong. And why you never negotiate a loan and never accept the first offer. Start with why the letter came to you. Developers shortlist land from a desk. Distance to the nearest substation. Available grid capacity. Land grade. Planning history. If a letter arrived, your land probably passed a screen you never saw, which creates the real problem. They know roughly what your land is worth to them, and you don't yet. So the first move isn't a reply, and it costs nothing. Check your own land's grid position, how far you are from a substation that can take a connection, and what that means in pounds per acre. It takes about 2 minutes, it's free, and it's the single piece of information the entire offer is priced against. We'll show the tool at the end. Second, independent figures before anyone discusses money. The market in 2026. A standard solar site pays £850 to £1,000 per acre per year. A strong grid position, £1,000 to £1,200. And if part of your land sits close to a 33 kV substation, a battery storage lease on as little as 2 acres of it can pay £10,000 to £40,000 per acre, a fact remarkably absent from most developer letters. Those are the numbers the offer gets judged against, not the number printed in the letter. The full breakdowns are in the income per acre and battery storage videos on this channel. Now the document that actually arrives first. It won't be a lease, it'll be an option agreement. The exclusive right to develop your land, typically for 2 to 3 years, while the developer chases planning permission and a grid connection. Handled well, an option is treasure. You should be paid for it, £100 to £500 per acre per year for solar. £1,000 to £5,000 per acre for battery storage. You keep farming the land throughout. And if planning fails, the money was yours for nothing. Handled badly, the same document is a trap. Some developers ask for exclusivity for free while they, quote, explore feasibility. That locks up your land for years, costs them nothing, and stops every other developer from making you a better offer. Never grant exclusivity without payment. The option should expire after 2 to 3 years, and if they want longer, they pay again. A developer who won't pay for exclusivity is not a serious developer. If planning lands, the option converts into the lease, 25 to 40 years of it. 4 clauses do most of the financial damage when they're wrong. The index. A lease at £1,000 per acre, rising with RPI, is worth around £2,400 per acre by year 30. The same lease with no escalation is still £1,000, a cumulative gap of more than £18,000 on every acre, which sets up the oldest trick in the letter, a high headline rate with no escalation. £1,500 per acre fixed sounds generous, and is worth less than £1,200 with RPI over the term. The cap. Some leases index the rent, then quietly cap the annual uplift. A capped index in a high-inflation decade behaves like no index at all. Check for the cap, the decommissioning bond. A funded guarantee, £15,000 to £25,000 per megawatt, held by a bank or insurer in place before construction starts, that the panels come off and the land is reinstated. Without it, if the developer goes under, removal lands on you. £50,000 to £200,000 or more. No bond, no signature. This one is non-negotiable. And the break clauses. Developers can usually walk away early. You usually can't. Know the notice period and exactly what's payable if they go. Last two rules, and they're the cheapest money you'll ever spend. Never negotiate with one developer. Get assessments from 3 to 5 and tell each of them you're comparing. Competition moves the rate and the terms, and never negotiate alone. Use a solicitor who works on renewable energy agreements, not your usual property conveyancer. £2,000 to £5,000 in fees, typically returned 10 to 50 times over the life of the lease. Remember what the letter's first offer actually is: an anchor, not a ceiling. The developer wrote it expecting to move. So, the order of operations, one more time. 1. Check your land's grid position. Free before anything, because it's what the offer is priced against. 2. Independent figures, so the rate is judged against the market. 3. A specialist solicitor before any signature, even on, quote, just the option. 4, and only 4, reply to the letter. Step 1 is what Solar Grid Check does. Enter your land's location, and it measures the distance to the nearest substation that can actually take a connection, then gives you a verdict and an income estimate in about 2 minutes, free. The full negotiation guide, every rate, clause, and red flag in this video is linked below, along with the companion videos on what solar farms pay per acre and what battery storage pays for land. Check the grid first. Reply second.